Hi. Welcome to the Rockstar Roadie podcast. I am your host, Dan ONeil, as people call me also the Borga. I hate it, but I use it. Um, it's a 40-year long nickname. Anyway, very special episode. As I say, every show is a special episode because it is. It's my friends and they're really cool fucking people. So suck it up, bitches. Anyway, I can say what I want about my friends. Anyway, so as you know, we have the spiel that we have to give for legal reasons. So I don't get sued. My guests don't get sued. Um, the opinions of myself and my guests, I try to do this always like we're straight face and it doesn't happen. The opinions of me and my guests are strictly therefore our own. No idea what word I made up there, but our opinions are ours. They are how we dealt with situations. They are how we overcame situations. They are how we handle our lives. If you take something away from that, that is amazing. If it helps you find your way, amazing. But we are not therapists. Therefore, we do not give you advice. We give each other advice because we can't sue each other. And then you can take away from that what you want. The other part is my favorite part. We do not talk two things on this show. We do not talk politics and we don't talk religion. Plain and simple. Okay, so with that being said, my first guest is awesome. She and I did the Janet Jackson tour, and I think I'm a better person for knowing her because she was just really funny and cool, and she made a fun day. And again, we all go through shit, and she was going through shit. I was going through shit. Everybody was going through shit, but you never knew it because why? We're professionals. So, with that being said, I would like to introduce my first and one of my favorite guests, Miss. And by the way, just so you know, I'm infamous for screwing up people's names, even when I know them. My guest is Miss Hadassah Noonan. I think I pronounced her name right.
You did.
I did. You're the
did,
first
yeah.
one. You're the first one. You're the first one with. Anyway, hi. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
I am wonderful. Long time no see.
I know.
You look amazing.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. I got old.
I think we're all getting older. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm not going to complain. Although the gray hair, I like to just call it Jackson management. But anyway,
just a little bit of peppering.
You still got the right. I look like Goth Santa, man.
No.
Anyway, so how you been? What have you been up to? What are you doing? Talk to me.
I'm good. I've been doing the usual. Actually, right now I'm at home just doing the mom thing, but
nice.
Yeah, just
you moved to Vegas, right?
I did move to Vegas this year, so this summer and fall I've been kind of just dealing with the move. So,
well, what's funny is I used to love your social media posts because you're always posting pictures of the Alaskan wilderness, and I was like,
oh yeah,
I really hate not being there. It is so beautiful up there.
It is beautiful, but I've paid my dues to Alaska. It's time to shake it up a bit.
Yeah, what the hell? You know what?
Yeah.
Let the kids see the world.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what are you? Are you working in Vegas?
I have a little bit, just helping out friends as they come into town. I'm not on a tour right now.
Okay.
Just been kind of focusing on stuff at home and helping out friends as they come through.
Right on. Would you be wanting a house gig there in Vegas, maybe?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Oh, we should talk then. I got some friends.
Okay,
I'll actually be in Vegas in January to visit my son who just moved there.
I know. We need to get coffee. We're going to do that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I have some friends in Vegas, so we'll talk about that.
Cool.
So tell me about the last tour you did.
The last tour that I did was more heavy on ambiance. It's not, it's wardrobe, but so
Right.
I guess the gig kind of intertwines often, backstage coordinating, ambiance, wardrobe. Sometimes it gets all thrown into one, just depending on the artist or what kind of gig it is really. But this one was rock and roll.
Nice.
And yeah, it was fun. It was a lot, but I don't know. I like rock and roll.
Well, I mean, and just so people understand too, there's a lot of things Hadassah, myself, and my other guests cannot discuss because of non-disclosures. So
Right.
you don't understand who we're working for. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There'll be things that we can and cannot say because, until those are no longer valid.
Yeah. I
Well,
actually I have really good relationships with, I would say the majority of the artists that I've worked for.
mhm,
Wardrobe, as you know, you tend to be the mother, the therapist, the housekeeper, the first aid.
yeah,
You're kind of everybody to a lot of people. So, um, you know, being on tour, it's not just the grind of the tour itself, but it's the mental drain from
right.
being so much to either one or more people. It can get heavy, but I love the job. I don't think I would do any other job.
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as people, I mean, wardrobe, people have no clue what it entails, but
Right.
she's not kidding. I mean, she's just, just touching the top of what it is.
Yeah.
There's a shitload more. I mean, she even took care of me during the damn tour. All right, because I was a hot mess. But
We all are, right?
yeah, but I mean, you guys are in early. You're
Yeah.
doing clothes all day. You're sewing. I mean, you're just, and especially on Janet when you had so many people.
Yeah.
Because it was what? It was you and Bonnie and who else?
No, it was just Bonnie and I. Bonnie took care of Janet, and then I took care of the dancers and the band, and we just
That was a
kind
lot
of
of people.
it's a lot of people, yeah, and there was a lot of changes to the costumes, so Bonnie she
Oh,
was
yeah.
sitting at that desk nonstop
I
sewing because there's
remember.
always something new to throw in, so
Every
I
time I
would
checked on you guys were just like, I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
shit."
it's always something. But, I mean, that's part of what makes it exciting. Every show is something
Yeah.
different and the it could be stressful, but then you get through it and we did that. It's great.
Yeah, there's a lot of positions on tour that are bona fide Groundhog Day, like backline.
Yeah.
That is bound
Yeah.
of that backline, lighting, and sound are bona fide Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Production and wardrobe, not so
Yeah.
much.
The beat down. We're
Yeah.
we're the beat down crew.
We're like we're the first ones in, last ones out. You guys
Yeah.
are at the end of the night, you guys are scurrying to get
Yeah.
all the shit in cases just so we can get them loaded in the truck and
Right.
do a drive to do it again in a few hours.
Yeah.
Um, Tell me, what was your first year of touring?
Mm.
What year was that, and who was it with?
I started in '08, and it was actually by chance. I didn't even know that this job existed. I had no idea that this world was a thing.
Really?
I didn't. I didn't really go to concerts much. I mean, I grew up in Alaska, so, like,
Sure.
the yeah, I mean, now it's better now, but when I was a kid, there just wasn't a whole lot of artists that made the trip because it's expensive, and it's half the time you can't even use your own gear because it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense
Oh,
to,
I've done shows
you know
in Anchorage and stuff, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
It's It's better now, though. There's a lot more, but when I was a teenager, there wasn't a whole lot,
Right.
So the concert world just wasn't really on my radar, and, I was in school for fashion design, actually, and, I did a lot of fashion show production, and the girl that I went to school with, she wanted to be a costume designer, and I had no idea what she was talking about. I thought she was talking about, like, Disney or or theater. I had no idea. It just wasn't on my radar. And so, she graduated, and her first tour she went on to, was a really big tour, and then the second tour she went on to, was also a big tour, and they fired the wardrobe head, and so she became the wardrobe head on her second tour,
Damn.
and, they said, "You need to replace yourself by Monday," and it was Friday, and she said, "I don't know any." I It's literally my 2nd year in the industry. I mean, she's been around it her whole life, but,
Right.
department-wise, it was kinda new. So she called me and she said, "I promise it's the same thing as fashion shows, it's just a different city every day."
Hmm.
And so I flew out 2 days later and been doing it ever since, and that was, Alicia Keys back then.
Nice.
Yeah, so I've done a
She's
couple
a
tours.
wonderful lady.
I love her. Yeah. That was a great tour, and then the 2nd tour I did with her, even better. Like, she treats people she's exactly who she is in interviews, and that's the
Yep.
kind of gig that is everything, right? You want that gig.
Yeah. I mean, people work their whole lives sometimes and don't get that gig. And when you do
Yeah,
get it, it's pretty cool.
yeah.
I have that now with Bon Jovi. They are
Oh,
great.
definitely.
They're great people. You know, the entire camp, right down from management down. Everyone will go, managers, no, management down.
Yeah,
Everyone is just
that's the
great.
dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, all we do is laugh all day. Literally, we laugh and cut up. It's just a shitload of Jersey guys just
Yeah.
breaking balls all day, and it's just fun. But I get
Yeah.
what you're saying. So, '08, you got your first taste, which was nice. Did
Yeah.
you in that time between, that tour and your next tour, what was your next tour after that? Just curious.
The next tour after that was, Britney Spears' circus tour. So that was
Damn.
a big one,
No
a
shit. You
huge
jumped
stage in the
high.
round. Yeah. I got thrown to the wolves, I think. It was it's just like Fast and Furious, you know? So circus was my second tour, and that one was a stage in the round, hundreds of people on that tour.
Wow.
I don't remember how many trucks, but it was dozens of trucks. It was I feel like that was so long ago, but I know it was a big tour at the time,
Well,
and,
the reason I asked that is because once you started touring,
yeah.
did you start to feel or see any mental health issues
Oh,
arise?
absolutely. Everywhere. I mean, if you think about it, everybody is in kind of like, Peter Pan land, right? We're all in Neverland. Nobody grows up. It's just a bunch of, can be a bunch of immature adults who are living
Yes.
life like nothing. It's all, I don't know.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I think it's hard for people to, especially when you start in the industry when you're so young, because there's a lot of people who started in their teens, really. I was 21 when I started, and, so you grow up on tour essentially, and you have a weird sense of reality and what the real world is like. So when you go home, you don't you don't really know how to switch gears if it's
Mhm.
fast in between, right? And so people at home don't really get it. Um, I don't know, I think that being younger, starting, it kind of was my formative years, and so it shaped a whole lot of, false reality, I guess. So I had to figure it out along the way on how to protect my mental health, because I didn't want to fall into where a lot of people on the road do, which is unfortunately reality for a lot of people, is that you don't know how to bounce back and forth between real life and tour. And even on tour, it's just you don't always have that, stability and safety net of
Right.
your core people, your family,
Right.
your friends from home. So I am really, really brutally protective of my peace, more so in the last few years. I am I have very strong boundaries
Yeah.
now, and I didn't have so many when I was younger because I was still learning the industry then.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we call that, so when you come home, so when I was younger, I would go literally tour, home a week or 2, tour, home a week
Pack
or
your
2.
bags, go back.
Well, sometimes the bags didn't even get unpacked. They got
Yeah,
washed and then
yeah, you
repacked,
got
and
a
then you
gig
were out the
bag and
door.
just take
And
off.
but for me, we call that time in between, we call that the slow burn,
Yeah,
because you want your body and your brain want to go back to normal life, but
yeah,
looking at the calendar, in a week, you're right back to where you were,
yeah,
and you can't do that. Now, I've been blessed, knock on, anything, that I can pick what I wanna do
right.
and as much as I wanna do it. So,
Yeah,
but before I couldn't do that. I mean, my wife
you
and I
had to
moved down
take
here
what
to
you could.
Mississippi, and I live 2 blocks from the beach, and I see the sunset every day, and I get to see the ocean and drive by so I'm kind of enjoying that part of life. But
Yeah,
like you, very protective.
yeah,
And you were talking about people falling into the trappings. I mean,
yeah.
unfortunately, I don't know about you, I can't speak for you, but myself, I've lost friends who fell into those trappings.
Mhm. Yeah,
I was in those trappings too, because you use whatever vice, mine was
mhm,
pills and alcohol, to cope with being away from home, the pain,
yeah.
the sleep deprivation,
Mhm.
everything. Now my day consists of, when the show's over, it's ibuprofen, a Pepsid
Yeah,
AC,
right.
and, a
It changes over
Mylanta.
time, the cocktail
Yeah,
changes.
the cocktail changes to over the counter pain meds, or, antacids.
Right.
But there's some people who weren't, and I wasn't. I just happened to do it to try to break the cycle of,
Yeah.
addiction in my own family, is that they can't break it. They
Yeah.
they don't know how to cope.
Right.
Um, you know, and it's like, I want to say pandemic.
Yeah.
So the pandemic hits, we get shut down March
Right.
16th, everything's done. Right? Was it March 16th? I think it was March. I can't
Somewhere
remember.
around March. Yeah.
Yeah, March 16th, whatever. We are done. They are
Mhm.
flying people home before the deadline, or else they're not getting back in the country. All this shit. I was
Yeah.
home building rigs for a tour that was coming up. And I get the phone call, hey, we're shut down. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not touring. I'm working in my shop. So they kept paying me to build the rigs and just have them ready if and when, because we all thought it was only going to be a couple weeks, right?
Um,
Yeah, 2 years later.
just
Um,
kidding.
yeah, woohoo, sorry, surprise. And it's like you sit there and you go, what am I going to do? This is
Yeah.
a once in 100 year pandemic that
Right.
road crews, and let's be clear, millions of us worldwide were out of work.
Right.
And some of the system wasn't helpful to a lot of our people. So,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm all right. I got 6 months. I did the standard 6 months savings in the bank. I'm good on all my bills. I can relax. It'd be nice to have 6 months off.
Yeah.
6 months turns into seven. Seven turns into
Yeah.
10. 10 turns into 12. And I'm going, oh shit.
Yeah.
And
How
then,
many people really knew how to be home, you know?
oh
Like,
God, I had to learn.
yeah, you have to relearn your new normal, not
Yeah.
just with the pandemic, but, like, anytime that you're home more than like 3 weeks or 2 months, kind of an ordeal for a lot of us, that's weird. I've taken
Yeah.
breaks in between tours. I was doing real estate for when the pandemic hit, I was doing real estate. So, um,
Nice.
it was weird for me to switch gears from the mentality of, because it was my most of my adult life has been on the road. So when
Right.
I tried to be normal for a minute, it was a massive learning curve, you know?
Well, it's not only that. It's like when I leave on tour, I come home, I gotta slowly get into the wife's routine because she's the boss,
Yeah, yeah,
and I gotta when to feed the dogs, when they go out, because we're empty. Good news is we're empty nesters now. All
yeah.
5 kids are gone. So it's just us and 3 dogs, which I absolutely love, but I do miss my children.
Sure.
Um, but you have to get into that routine. Now I'm about to leave at the end of next week for TSO. I'll be gone for 2 months. I think we've got it down, but I know when I come home, I'm still gonna have that ingrained in
Mhm.
me to, okay, I got to do this slow, or else I'm gonna get my head bit off. But a lot of people don't. They didn't know how to go. Well, shit, I
Yeah,
don't know what to do.
right.
And in the middle of it, like as soon as when the pandemic hit, I almost lost. I went through one medical issue, which is something I will not talk about. Um, it's highly personal. No, it wasn't anything with my no. Just in case people are wondering.
Just to be
Uh,
clear.
let's be clear. My junk is fine. Except for the last couple of days I've been passing those kidney stones. Oh
Right,
my God.
right.
Jeez, oh Pete, just shoot me. Anyway, but no, I went through another one where I did not know I was a diabetic,
Yeah,
and I almost lost my foot to diabetic cellulitis.
right.
Well, when you almost take away the one thing that helps you work,
Yeah,
you kind of get scared.
a little bit.
So I went down like couple, let's back it up a little bit. The last couple tours I did, they were a little bit of a pain in the ass. And then you and I did Janet. That was
Yeah,
very stressful because
right.
we were just coming out of the pandemic, and you had all these different people who, some of them, unfortunately, as you know, I had to let go,
Yeah,
did not know what the hell they were doing.
right.
And as production manager for that tour and having to let people go for various reasons,
Yeah,
it's like you feel bad, but you have to
yeah,
do what's best for the artist and
right.
and for the crew around them. But so I go through that. I almost lost my foot. Well, in the interim, I had no insurance.
Yep,
I had nothing. And it's just like I went to a very dark, 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 dark. I call it blacker than black hole.
right.
And I was blessed enough to have Sheila Biddy from Music Health Alliance
Yeah,
hook me up with a therapist. And to say I'm back, I'm back, baby. I don't give a flying fuck about nothing. If you got problems, let's talk about them. If you don't,
Right.
then just shut up and stop crying. If you don't want to talk, but the point is, a lot of people, I found it so difficult to find help
Right.
that I needed someone else to help me find the help.
Yeah.
And people don't know to do that. They just think, "Oh, I'm gonna call this and they're gonna help me." No,
No.
because I lost track of how many times I called to get help and I couldn't get help.
Well,
You
and
know?
also to find somebody that's a good fit for you too is part of
Yeah.
that battle.
I
That's
went through 2 therapists before. Believe it or not, a therapist by the name of Danielle is my therapist, and she is take no shit. But I was telling someone on another podcast what I really liked about her is for the first 3 sessions, she barely spoke to me.
Mm,
She would ask me a question and then she'd take her notes or whatever.
yeah.
So I go in for like, I think it was the 4th session, 3rd or 4th session. I go in, I'm like, "Are you gonna talk to me?" Like, she's like, "No."
Yeah,
I said, "Well, why?" She's like, "I'm here to listen to you,
exactly.
and I'm here to interject my thoughts, not what you should do, but you have to come to those conclusions yourself."
Yeah.
And that's when I knew, even my wife said it, you cannot have a therapy session with a friend or a
No.
family member
Yeah.
because they are going to interject their thoughts on how you should act or think or behave.
Right.
Where this woman didn't say shit. And I was just like, "Oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
Okay." It's like that Sigmund Freud, shit, Sigmund Freud, whatever.
Freud.
Yeah, Freud. And I'm like, "I get it now." And then
Yeah.
she started opening up because
Mhm.
she was waiting for me to get frustrated with her, she told me.
Yeah.
And I went, "Got it." So, what have you found? Obviously, you're a mother.
Yeah.
Um, what has been some of the hardest parts of touring for you, even with your children, but just in general, the hardest parts for you? And I don't want to cross any of your boundaries. So if we get there, just go, "Hey, that's boundary," and we're cool.
All good. I I don't know. I think for me, obviously being a parent on the road, and I'm going to say parent because this is something that is part of the hard part of parenting on the road is people have
Mhm.
different expectations for mothers than they do for fathers. I get asked that um, somewhat frequently, but you're a mother. You're on the road. You're a mother. And my response is always, "Yeah, and he's a father, and he's a father, and he's a father. Why does it matter that I'm a mother? My children are well taken care of. My children have all of the support in the world from me. And doing this gig affords me the luxury of 26 weeks out of the year being a full-time stay-at-home mom.
Right.
Like that's part of the job is it's fast and furious. And I can take as little as 26 weeks of work and make my year and be okay with that because
I'm
it
gonna
gives
steal
me
that from you. I'm gonna
yeah,
start using that because I do like that better than saying, "Well, you're a father, you're a mother." You're a
I'm a
parent, and I
parent.
never thought of it that way.
Yeah. But it's I think it's difficult for people to because mothers are always um the primary parent, right?
Right.
In situations whether you're divorced or not, mothers tend to be looked at as the primary parent. And I do have a heavy hand in raising my children, but they don't have to only have one-sided parenting, and it's important to me that my children have a good balance between myself and their dad, and, when I'm on the road, I'm still very much involved in their lives. We constantly are in communication, and they've grown up in it. Like I said, I started when I was 21.
Right.
So my oldest he's 15, my youngest is 4, they've all grown up with it.
Right.
This is their normal. So it's not but that being said, it doesn't negate that it's hard to be away from your children. And so for me, I try to make sure and make it a point that I am still part of their everyday, whether or not I'm physically there.
Right.
And sometimes when I was younger and with my oldest, when he was little, I did have some really big struggles. I with the guilt of being away,
Mhm.
but that year that I had the biggest struggle in dealing with the guilt of being a parent on the road was a year that I was working really, really hard. I mean, we're all working really hard all the time, but I was gone a lot that particular year. And I think getting through that year is what made me realize that that's going to be a boundary for me now. And I'm
Right.
in a position in my career where I can be particular about what jobs I take. And it takes time to get to that point, but it's just so important to me with my boundaries to be selective in what tours I take because it is important to me to have a good balance between home and tour.
Right.
Um, but I tend to try to make sure that I'm taking care of myself on tour too.
Right. And
Um,
that's huge, man. You have
yeah,
to.
you can't pour into anything if your cup is empty, right? It's a total cliche saying, but it's so
Right.
true. You know, you have to be able to make sure that you are taking care of yourself first so that you can be there for people. So on days off, I try not to spend my time off in a hotel room. I feel like even when we're exhausted and we need the rest is important, but so is getting outside, even if it's just for a walk, because we're inside of the gig all day on a work day,
Yeah.
and so you're never, like, getting fresh air or getting out into sunlight, you know, we live in a cave essentially, so on a day off, I try to make sure that part of my day is going to be going out and doing something.
Well, yeah, even going for a walk, just
Yeah,
going for a walk and just sitting down for a few minutes outside, vitamin D, sun.
yeah,
I didn't believe in that for the longest time. I started doing that and I did start feeling
so
better.
important.
Did I lose you?
No,
Oh, okay. So I was going to say, yeah, I mean, I didn't believe in that for the longest time. I started doing it and I'm like, I feel better. I feel a little bit better. I feel like I'm not stuck inside four
yeah,
walls with a tiny window.
yeah,
And I agree with you too on the co-parenting thing because my ex-wife and I think, did a pretty good job raising the two, considering they're empty nesters now. But and that was tough because we co-parented when we were married, and then we got divorced, and we still had a co-parent, but I still
yeah,
toured. So that
right,
was a unique situation where it's like, and then I come home, after a 3 or 4 month tour, and then I'm like, well, no, the kids are going to stay with me. I
yeah,
purposely moved into their school district to
yeah,
where their same bus that dropped them at their mother's house dropped them at my house too.
yeah,
So I found, with the bus route, I found a townhome that was right on the same bus route. So if I wasn't home, they'd just stay on the bus and go to their mom's. And if I was home, they'd just get dropped off at my house.
yeah,
But you have to find those, you have to have those compromises and you have to have those things as co-parents, whether you're divorced or married,
right,
in what we do, because we're gone and the mother's the backbone of the family. Because when you're
yeah,
gone, they're not listening to dad.
right,
And it was difficult for me at first too, especially with my son. I mean, he's going to be 28 here in a day, but it's as he got older, there the FaceTime came out.
right,
So to be able to FaceTime him, and my daughter made it a little bit easier.
yeah,
When you could just, before we just picked up the phone and heard the voice. Well, now the kids see dad at work. You can talk to them. So
yeah,
that kind of started to mend some of the mental issues that I was having of missing my kids, because that was my most miserable part, was, having a tour and then not being able to see the kids. But now
yeah.
FaceTime's invention. Oh, now I can see the kids and talk to them at the same time. Yippee. So,
When my son was little, I mean, thankfully for me, by the time I started touring, at the time it was, I guess, Skype and Google calls, I think was what it
mm,
was, and so, definitely utilized that all the time, and that helped, but I try to so, for example, as going back to the way that you handled, co-parenting, um, what I do with my children is we have the kids home, and when I'm home, I stay in the kids' house, and their dad goes to work, and then when I go on tour, their dad comes into the house, so it's bird nest,
oh,
uh,
okay. That's pretty
parenting
cool.
time,
Yeah.
so that the kids' schedule is never messed up because our schedules are crazy, like, my schedule is unpredictable, his schedule is unpredictable, so we try to do what we can to keep their schedules
Sure.
as consistent as possible, and it's their environment that we're coming in and out of um, rather than mom's house, dad's house, which works for almost everybody. This is
Right.
just the way that it worked for me and their dad. So
No, I mean, I think that's refreshing because it gives the kids some sort of grounding and some
yeah,
consistency, not having to have that bag pack once every week or
yeah,
once every 2 weeks and go over
hard.
here and then go over there. So that's pretty good. And also, my kids would have hated it because at my house they got a Christmas, at their mom's house they got a Christmas. In your situation, they'd still get one
It's
Christmas. So,
Christmas.
little shits.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, no.
in your travels and your tours and in your life, when you're on the road, how do you feel mental health issues are being handled on a big tour? Are they being addressed? Are they being looked over? Are you being told to get over it? Or what are you seeing? Because I am seeing, and before you answer that, just so you know where I'm coming from with this question is what I'm seeing on some tours, and I think we did our best on Janet to try and address a lot of things. There was so much going on that tour with her being her first tour back out, and she did amazing.
Yeah,
The tour was amazing, but we were dealing with a lot of variables on that tour with
yeah,
local crew and our crew being so new and a lot of guys never doing it before. How do you feel and my thing is like I said, I think we tried. You and I have had plenty of talks on the tour. Bonnie and I
mm,
had plenty of talks. You know, it's how do you feel tours are handling it nowadays with the climate of our country and what everyone is going through mentally?
yeah. I I would say within the past few years, I would say people are paying more attention to it post-pandemic. Tours are starting to get better and waking up
Right.
to the reality that that kind of support is so important.
Right.
Um, I will say there's still a lot of room for growth, though.
Mhm.
I do have a lot of tours where that's the attitude is just get over it's this is the gig, this is the environment, it is what it is. Um, Not necessarily to myself, but I've seen it
Right.
happen. I'm not really an emotional person. I'm not sensitive, so I don't really have those kind of experiences myself often, but I do see that being the way that other people are treated or approached when there is situations like, for example, if somebody has to leave because there's a death in their family, the norm with tour is you're on a gig, man. What do you,
Yeah.
sorry. Um, Whereas, so I guess you kind of lose that sort of level of humanity in this gig
Mhm.
or in this world is oftentimes the human piece gets removed and it becomes mechanical.
Right.
And that's it's getting better. And I think that people are waking up to that. And
Mhm.
I am um I'm happy to see that being changed. But when I was younger, I watched a lot of really bad um approaches to mental health on tour,
Oh,
and
yeah,
it
100%.
unfortunately makes it 10
Yeah,
times
and a
worse.
lot of them on my end stick in my head because 'cause I've been touring for 40 years.
Yeah, you get stuck with it.
You get stuck with it. I mean, like, listen, my wife went through a surgery. I was told, "Well, if you leave, you lose your job."
That's exactly it, and you have to choose between being able to pay your mortgage or something really massive in your life that's happening that's, in the normal world, you'd get a grievance or
Yeah.
like a time to sort it out, and you just don't on tour. You have to
No.
just figure it out. Like, you get food poisoning, and you still have to show up to the gig, and you have to
Oh,
figure
yeah.
it out, like,
Oh, yeah.
you know you know
I've been sick of you were on the tour. I had to go
Yeah,
have emergency surgery
yeah,
outside of the gig. There was an emergency room. I had to go have
yeah,
emergency surgery. Thank God we had that 3-day break coming up, and Janet actually sent me
mhm,
home a day early
yeah,
because I was it was bad.
right.
I don't even remember it. Karen told me the whole thing, and apparently Derek and Janet and everybody was in on it. But I'm grateful that they forced me to go
I
to get it
remember
looked
that,
at, and it was
yeah.
bad. But any other tour, no one really
It
would
wouldn't
have.
have been the same.
it depends, but yeah, I mean, if you're looking like death walking, they're gonna go, well, we better get him to a hospital.
Right.
But if you got the COVID or you've got the food poisoning, but I've been told, listen, I couldn't go to my wife's surgery because I'd lose my job, my son's
Yeah.
graduation, a whole bunch of different things. It's like, really, dude?
Yeah.
Really?
Right.
And that now listen, yeah, that's a mental beatdown just in itself.
Exactly.
But there's ramifications from that because then, like you just said, you got to pay your mortgage. You're afraid to say
Yeah.
anything. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and I think that the part that's, important to note too, though, is that there are some positions where you can do those
oh,
swap outs and
sure.
it's okay, but production and wardrobe and guitar techs,
Yeah. Backline is
um,
hard. It's very hard because,
it's hard to swap certain positions out, not because one position is more important than the other by any means. All positions on tour are
well,
important,
because they're so
but
involved.
it's intimate.
Yeah.
That person has to have a whole lot of trust
Hmm.
I mean, you see everything in production and in wardrobe. You're very much privy to a whole lot of stuff that's not a quick swap out,
A
you
hundred
know?
percent. And if it's more
What
than
makes
like
the
a day or
pressure.
two,
Yeah,
now, if we didn't have that 3 days off and it was just one show, I missed the Virginia show. If it
yeah,
was more than that, I'm sure it would have been an issue.
yeah,
But it was just that one show that I already missed, the whole load in because I was in the emergency
yeah.
room.
But I mean, she's so good at being that, supportive role, like, she's such an advocate of people around her,
Yep,
and I think
100%.
that that was so important, and it's such an important piece in you getting actual, like, medical attention that you needed, rather than just trying to limp through, which I think you were trying to do. You were
I was
trying to
trying to
just
do for the whole
force it
week
through.
before.
I know, but she was not having it, but that's, again, the crucial role in who you have surrounding you on tour, right? So
Oh, yeah,
each
no, she's
person in
been
each
with me. She's
position.
been with me for years. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
she's retired from touring,
yeah,
but she was with me for years, and I would not, she's very hard. I have another young lady now that is just amazing.
yeah.
So I'm very she's like on top of it, and she can use Google Drive. Screw you, Karen. I
The
was
little
used to give
things, you know?
I used to give Karen shit. I'm not using that crap. All right, fine. But no,
Fine.
going back to what you're saying, it's just like I wanted to elaborate. Is like, okay, so you told no, you can't go to your wife's surgery, your kid's
Yeah,
graduation, or the funeral. You're going to lose your job. Well, that creates a whole nother mental
yeah,
challenge for you and I, is because then you go, well, I got to pay my mortgage. I got to pay for this. I got to pay for
yeah,
that. Maybe I should just keep my mouth shut and be complacent.
yeah.
And that's the hole that I went down.
Mhm.
And I'm like, man, I became a fucking shell of myself.
Yeah,
Like I used to be a cool, fun son of a bitch. And I was just like, I was not that guy anymore,
yeah.
you know?
It
And
takes a
that's
lot
that's
away
rough.
from you.
It really does.
It
It
robs
takes your
you.
manhood.
No, I just mean that having to make those kind of decisions robs you of a whole lot of who you are, right?
Yeah,
It
100%.
forces you to make choices that you shouldn't have to make, but unfortunately, that's the gig we signed up for, right? As I say all the
100%.
time, that's what you signed up for, it's what you signed up for, and, while it is absolutely 100%, I think those were part of the things that I didn't have such strong boundaries with when I was younger,
Right.
and it made me it wore me down faster because I had to make those kinds of choices often that I it makes you sad that you have to make those choices,
Yeah.
and now
$100%.
I'm really strong with my boundaries now, and as long as I'm not disrupting anybody, then, I think that those are changes that are necessary in the industry to help
100%.
keep
I
a
agree with you.
healthy mind, when we're taking a really big beating in a way which we all signed up for, again, but, it's a
You
hard job.
keep saying we all signed up for it, but I didn't see that on the sign up sheet.
Well, once it's like, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, your first
Yeah,
gig, you're like, "Okay, I didn't know," and then you signed up for the gig again, so it's like,
I know. Let me
yeah.
ask you this question. So, in your career, what
Mhm.
has been your most fun tour? like where you just had fun every day. Now let me preface this by saying I would walk into the wardrobe room and you and Bonnie were in there singing and laughing all the
Bonnie
damn
is
time.
But Bonnie is just such the ultimate human. I love her so much. She cracks me up. She does not care. She is
Nope.
hilarious. She she is she's one of my favorites, and, it's easy when it's someone like Bonnie, you
Sure.
know? I've definitely been on tours where the department was not a good match for each other, and
Yeah.
you have to figure it out and get the job done, but when you have the right crew, um, whether just departmentally specific or in general with the whole crew, when you have the right mix of people, it's it's everything.
Yeah.
It helps to keep you afloat, I guess. But I I don't know. I think that even on tours where you are having a real beat down, it's a really hard tour. It can always be it can always be fun if depending
Sure.
on the people. Um, so that being said, I don't think I've ever had a tour where there wasn't some kind of a beat down. But I try to just make the best of every situation I'm in. So I had a lot of fun on Taylor Swift. I did the Taylor Swift tour back in 2012. This was Speak Now.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
Um,
Cool.
yeah. So I
She's
did that
another
tour.
great lady.
I loved she was so funny. She's so smart.
Yeah.
She's actually people don't give her enough credit. She's very brilliant, but again, I think that's the thing where in certain positions you see a little bit more of the human aspect in an artist that a lot of people don't see, even like within the tour. Other departments might not see that and they might not have that same experience because they don't see those
Moments.
elements.
Yeah, well, it's everything's a moment. You're in your wardrobe room with the artist, you're having a moment where the pyro guy's not gonna have that same
No.
experience,
Yeah.
and it's the same with, I come from backline in production. It's just when you're a backline guy, you are literally close to the artist,
Yeah.
and I've always been hired like with Bon Jovi, I take care of John and I take care of Hugh, the bass player.
Yeah.
You're always in those close quarter moments where there's stupid little things you'll do that no one knows what it is, but it's freaking hysterical.
Yeah.
We instead of fist bumps, John and I'll do a pinky bump.
Yeah.
It's just like, but no one knows what it means. It just means, hell, that was fun.
Right.
But the pyro guy's not going to get that. The lighting guy's not going to get that. They're going to get a different attaboy or whatever.
Right.
So the people don't always get to see, what you get. Like
Right.
with TSO, my world is underneath the stage. So my guy comes down and we're cutting up and we're watching football on the TV in my work box while the band is doing something up there. And then
Yeah.
he goes back up. So it's just no one gets to see those moments, but they're the moments that you create to keep some sort of
Yeah.
normalcy.
Right.
You know,
Or a
you
positive environment. That's the, like,
100%.
the area that you can control because you can't
Yep.
control all the other variables that are going to inevitably ruin your day or make it a nasty environment. So that portion of the environment, I do have control over how I react, how I set the tone, and so that's the part of wardrobe that I do love is that I can create that little bubble,
Right.
that protective bubble that the artists need, you know, to be frank, like they have to have that sort of trust that they're protected in your part of the gig,
Sure.
and so
Just like quick change for them. It has to
yeah,
be
exactly.
sealed. It's got to be, no one needs to be seeing in. They need to
Mhm.
run in there and have that moment to go,
Yeah,
and I get that. A
yeah,
lot of guys, a lot of people don't get that, but it's like when we set up our offices or our wardrobe rooms or our
yeah,
guitar worlds, we always have things in there that bring us from home.
mhm,
I got pictures of my kids, I got a TV, I
yeah.
got my damn freaking chickens, y- you know, but
Whatever
it's
works,
it's
whatever works.
whatever brings you a piece of home. Because if I was
Yeah,
out there and you walk in the building and you're in the building all day and then you're working and then you do the show and then you walk away. And if there's not something to remind you of why the fuck you're doing this,
exactly. Yeah,
I would have probably burnt out years ago.
yeah. Oh, definitely. The burnout is so real.
Yeah.
People don't talk about that enough, I don't think,
No, 100%.
because you're just expected to to always be on level 100, you know?
Well, you're always expected. I learned this, and please don't take this the wrong way because our positions are different.
Sure.
But I have always figured and seen and been and learned that I'm expected to have it perfect every night.
Yeah. Same.
And you can't. You can
No.
only do the best you can. Let's take a guitar player, for instance.
Right.
I could set that shit up the same day. I can
Yeah.
keep it clean. I could fix it. I can make it run, but I can't control what the gear does on its own.
Yeah.
You,
Definitely.
you can't
Same.
control when a costume rips.
Exactly. It's how you handle the moment, which
Bingo.
is what matters. So that's the thing. Oftentimes I work for an artist who, you know, is an actual musician, I guess, as they say.
Right.
Oftentimes I'll work for a guitar player, and so they have a guitar tech and they have me, and the three
Yep.
become a unit, right? And we support each other, and the guitar tech and I both know that wasn't your fault what just happened, and it's like this quiet, it's okay, it's gonna pass,
Sure.
so you have these little bonds with other people that are the artist's other direct confidant or whatever. But yeah, it's really there's only so much that you can do. You can't control the uncontrollable, but you can control the things that are within your control.
No,
Uh,
and
you know.
listen, and we'll skirt this issue. I'm going to skirt a very quick conversation with you,
Okay.
because we have to. But you and I had a situation on Janet. You came to me. It got handled. I think that made you and I better friends
Yeah.
because we were able to talk.
To trust. Yeah.
You're able to talk. You're able to okay, here's how we fix this. Here's how it's going to be fixed. Okay, it's fixed.
Yeah.
And then you talk and then you become friends that way.
Yeah.
So I think if people on tour, because you know as well as I do, there's factions. Let's be clear. There's always the little
Absolutely.
groups. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, the artist, band, dancers, whatever tour you're on, backup musicians, whatever, they're them. We
Yeah.
are not with them.
No.
And unfortunately, some crew guys don't know how to not cross the line. I'll leave it at that. But, the ones who know, hey, they're the band, they're the entourage, then there's the
Yeah.
crew. I think if a lot of people stopped with the little factions and just had maybe little conversations,
Yeah.
then everybody wouldn't be so like, "Nyeh, nyeh, 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 nyeh."
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I
Same.
have nipped
I
that in the
avoid it
bud.
like the plague. Like, I
Oh,
don't want
good
anything to
God.
do with the drama.
Shit, I'll go to my room and Uber Eats. Just leave me the fuck
I
alone.
know.
I'm not going to deal with it. No,
I don't the drama is not I'm not interested in any of the drama,
no.
and I will say I'm a very direct person, and
Yes, you are.
I come across cold often because of that sort of nature, I
Right.
suppose. But, um, at the end of the day, all that I want is to do a good job, and I don't want the bullshit in between. I have no interest in the drama. I'm
Amen,
not your
sister.
mom. So sometimes when you don't feed into the drama and the bullshit, that sometimes can make it worse because they
Yes,
want
because people
that, they
think
need that.
they need it. They think you're a prude when you don't want to hear them out.
Yeah,
I've gotten that a bunch of times. Well, why won't you listen to me? Because I don't give a
I
shit.
don't care.
I'm sorry I'm sorry you need someone to validate who you are, but I don't need to
Yeah,
validate you because you're
that's the thing.
hired.
Yeah, people say, "Oh," it's a funny thing, like, in wardrobe, we have a silly saying, like, one maybe not everyone in wardrobe, but a lot of wardrobe girls or people that I know are saying, "It's not your name on the marquee,"
Mhm,
Like, I don't owe you anything other than doing the best job that I can to make your job work, right?
100%.
And so, you do have a lot of those situations where people believe that they are the artist, and it's a tricky position to navigate.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you also have the ones that believe they're the artist and then all of a sudden get in the artist's ear.
Yeah,
Those
that
are the pain in
too.
the ass
Those are
ones.
hard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, it's like a lot of tours where the backline guys, and sometimes when it's a band, not a
Mhm.
hired gun situation, the
Yeah.
backline guys who were their friend in high school and is now their
Mhm.
drum tech thinks they're the shit.
Yeah.
And then all of a
That's
sudden
hard.
the tour hires a production manager and they get brought in and your ass gets shit canned. Well, apparently you sucked. I mean, I'm
Yeah, it's
sorry. I'm
tricky.
not here to validate you. You do your
No.
job and you are validated.
Yeah, you have to have thick skin in this industry, and that's
Oh
the hard
God.
thing, that people don't realize. Having thick skin doesn't mean that you're just screamed at all the time and, you have to take abuse, but you have to also know it's not personal,
Huh?
um, and I think that that's where people make it or break it,
Right. I mean, as a PM, I'm the last line of defense for you guys before it
Exactly.
gets to the artist or
Yeah,
management. And
right.
once it's to them, it's out of my hands.
Yeah.
I mean, plain and simple. I mean, it gets to them, it's out of my hands. And the same goes, whoa, what the hell happened?
It's dark where you are.
What the hell? This new camera is freaking weird, man. Anyway, so in the hierarchy of things, so on that tour, Mike Haas was my stage manager.
Yeah,
He controls everything outside of my office doors. If it gets past him to me, then we're in problem land because I
yeah,
have to solve a problem. If it
yeah,
gets past me to the artist or management, it's out of my hands.
right,
So if it gets past Mike, if Mike can't handle it, and that's why a production manager picks his stage manager because he
right.
knows he can deal with the shit. I mean, obviously, like department heads like you, Bonnie, backline department head, they come to me and
Sure.
that's fine because that door is open 25/7.
Yeah,
But if there has to be a checks and balances.
yeah,
Honestly, I think the checks and balances was put in place years ago just to kind of help curb the drama.
yeah.
Because no matter what tour you're on, there's going to be some.
Always.
I have not been on a tour in 40 years where someone hasn't started some shit. Now, I will say, Trans Siberian Orchestra, all we do is laugh all fucking day. So there's really no drama on that tour. And
That's
Jovi, we
amazing.
don't have any drama either. But that's
Yeah,
because everyone on both of those tours are older people. They're not the youngins. And these youngins, and bless my daughter's heart. And if she watches this, she's going to kill me. She feeds into the drama from her 20-year-old friends. And I just look at her and go, how are you my offspring? How do you not get that this is just trivial bullshit and
yeah,
you don't need to be involved? So what? She said whatever about who said. Who cares?
yeah,
And you're going to go through that because your kids are going to get older and they're going to fall into, I think we all did it.
yeah. Oh, for sure. When you're young, you haven't lived through the experiences that help, guide you through that. Like
Yeah.
getting through to the other side is what prepares you for dealing
Right.
with the bullshit. But they
Now,
have to go through it.
this all started out with me asking you a question that you have not answered yet.
Oh shit, what was it?
We went full OCD, ADD off on
Yeah,
a
it's the
tangent. I'm going to change the name of the show to the Gen X ADHD show. No,
just a
I
bunch of
asked you,
neurodivergent adults
I
who are
fucking
still
love it.
children.
But what I was going to ask you was don't forget, check your text before we're done here. But I asked you in your career, what has been your fun favorite tour?
Taylor.
Oh, okay. I think we kind of went into several things at once there.
I'm sorry, it
So,
just cut out.
I think when we were talking, and I asked you that question. I think once you said the Taylor thing, we went into a couple things and then we started going off on the
Oh,
ADHD rant. So
sure.
what was so fun about that?
I don't know. I think the people that were on that tour,
Right.
the people for me is what make it. But again, also Taylor was a really great artist to work for. She was funny and smart and a really good boss, you know?
So it
I think
starts at
when
the
you
top.
it starts at the top. It really does. It's the environment that you create, that really makes a tour fun, I
Yeah.
think.
I agree with that 100%. I
Yeah.
really do. Um, what if you were to give words of advice,
Mhm.
knowing what you know in our industry, having gone through what you've gone through in our industry, what words of
Mhm.
advice would you give to an up and coming crew person? And let's be more specific, because you and I have had discussions, and I really want this to be specific, because I'm getting more women on the show when they're available, but I don't have a lot of women on the show.
The other thing that I think is so important is to pay attention to your health. It's really easy to put things off, and it's really easy to say, I just don't have time. I'll do it on the next break. Um, you know, I think everybody has some kind of health um, scare that they have, but when you're on tour, sometimes you forget to check in. And it's so important to make sure that you are doing everything that you can to stay on top of all of your checks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's great too. Just to have a mental health check-in on
Yeah.
yourself on a day off. You're sitting there, just have that mental health check-in. I mean, I've run into now, with obviously getting older,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm still, I look like Gothic Santa Claus, but I've had, obviously the health issues. So now I have regimens on days
Mhm.
off. With being a diabetic comes the diabetic neuropathy.
Right.
So I have a regimen, I'll get up on a day off. Normally tours have been really great at getting me hotel rooms as soon as the buses arrive, which is great.
Yeah.
I'll go to sleep, I'll get up, I have these compression, like, lower half jumpsuit that I put on my
Yeah.
feet, and they work my legs for an hour just to get the blood flow right. Cause you're on your feet all freaking day.
Yeah.
So at some point in time, when you do sit down, you have to get your nerves regulated. And as you get older, and if you are diabetic, your nerves are the first thing to go. And
Yeah.
then that is followed by, diabetic skin infections. So, we just have to be careful. So you go through this whole
Absolutely.
regimen on tour, and you adjust. It's not the younger days where I could just fucking go and go and go and go and
Yeah.
go. I'm not 20 anymore. I'm but anyway.
Well, I think that the I guess the important takeaway is that um, things that you think are trivial, um, taking care of your mental health, making sure that your cortisol levels aren't so high, because our job is crazy chaotic, right? And you may not realize that you're throwing your body into a high cortisol situation, and that's where cancers can develop and other extraordinary issues that you don't always have the luxury of uh, being able to just go down the street to the doctor and or paying attention to your body. We don't pay attention to our body when we're on tour because you're just being hit by a Mack truck every
Yeah.
week. So um, I just think I'm a big supporter of taking the time to do what you can to lower your cortisol levels and take care of your stress management so that things like that um, don't affect you
Well,
as
we got to talk more about that when I come out there in January to see my son. We
yeah.
got to talk more about that. I started doing, and I'm not, by the way, people, just I'm not a paid, I'm not paid to talk about this company, but I started seeing this ad for this company called Dose, and I have what's called fatty liver disease, and that is
Mhm.
due to years of alcohol abuse, and oops.
Oop.
Oops. There are consequences, folks. If you drink back then, you will pay for it later. So my liver enzymes are kind of all over the board, and
Yeah.
so I started seeing this ad for this liquid dose, and I have a
Yeah.
problem. So ever since Janet, when I had the throat issue, what has happened with my throat is my throat has gone from this to this.
Yeah.
And it sucks because swallowing pills is just insanely ridiculous.
Mhm.
Getting like, yeah, I have to hold my head back.
Right.
So, but I found this product called Dose, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, well, let me try it. It's supposed to help you repair your liver,
Yep.
work on your cortisol levels, and all that stuff. Because obviously, going through the one thing that I went through that I don't really speak about, I have to worry about my cortisol levels.
Yeah.
So, and it's amazing. Holy crap. After 3 weeks, it's amazing, but it tastes like orange juice.
I
'Cause
know.
I hate shit that tastes bad.
I was
Like,
taking dose for a while.
oh, were you?
For sure. Absolutely.
It
Actually, I know a
tastes so
couple.
good.
It does. It's sweet for sure, but
To
it's
me,
so
it tastes like
it's good for
concentrated
cities.
orange juice.
Yeah. Yeah. I know a lot actually, I know several roadies that take dose.
Yeah.
I had
I
them in
actually,
my suitcase. I was traveling with them. Actually, part of my suitcase was the box because it has the
yes, I just put
so part of
two.
my road ca not my road case, my suitcase was
Yes.
just a box of dose because they travel well, and then
Yep.
after it's empty, you throw the box out, and then you have room for all your laundry at the end
And
of
you
the
get
trip.
the cool shot glass.
And it's a little shot glass. It's great.
It makes me feel like I'm drinking again. But I just loaded up in my garage. I've got my cases going out Monday
Yeah.
to TSO, and I have a bin which
Yep.
has, diabetic sensors. It's got
Yeah.
extra medication. It's got 2 3-pack boxes of dose in there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's good stuff. And I noticed I get more energy from it. And again, dose, if you want to support the show, we're all down for it. Um, what the
But
fuck?
it's
I'm new at this. I'm trying. I just want to help
that's
people.
okay.
That's all I
Yeah.
care about.
Well, that's
Uh,
that's the point, right? Doing things that you can now to help protect yourself, little routines that you can create and making sure you're paying attention to your body
yes.
so that it doesn't become something that you have to now navigate, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if someone was doing this show 20 years ago and I
Absolutely.
heard some of this stuff, I would
Yeah.
have changed shit very quickly.
Same. Same.
100%.
That's my
There is no podcast, TV show, whatever out there that is telling people the reality of stuff. And
yeah.
I'm here to tell all these new kids coming into our industry, and Hadassah's doing the same thing, and so are my other guests. Listen to us.
Yeah.
I'm actually 25 years old and I look like this, okay?
I
So this is what the road will do to you. Hadassah's 12. But it's like, listen to us because we're giving you advice to
yeah.
create your own future health,
Yeah.
mentally and physically.
Yeah.
And man, I tell you, I don't remember what I was going to tell you. I tried, it just didn't come out. Oh my God. All right. This is what happens when you get old. Oh God. Anyway, Hadassah, thank you so much, hon. We're gonna wrap up. You got family stuff to get to. I got same shit. Um, but thank you so much.
My
It
pleasure.
is always a pleasure seeing you and always a pleasure talking to you. You are just a delightful human being. And I am
Oh,
grateful to just have you part of my life. So thank you. And
same.
then we will get together in January when I get out there. I'm going to come out probably to Vegas. I'm not sure exactly when yet, but I want to see my son. And
Yeah.
then you and I will have coffee and we'll talk about some more dose stories.
Love
But,
it.
but ladies and gentlemen, Miss Hadassah Noonan, I thank you. Um, we will talk soon.
Sounds good.
Thank you, dear. All right.
Bad.